Hey, what's up guys? Dead Reviewer here for another video today. This one's a little bit different. This is a contest entry into Killernerd75's contest. 100 subscribers contest. Great giveaway. Awesome prizes. This is going to be my first contest entry ever. I'm really excited about it. He's got, I think, he's got 6 questions, all horror based. Let's get started. First one is, how did it all begin? Your journey into horror. Well, in my case, it all began with my father. My father was a huge horror movie buff. I remember just going down into, he made our basement into a like a family / movie room, and it was just filled with horror VHSs. I remember going down there when I was like 4 or 5 years old, and I would pop in, like I Spit on Your Grave when he would be like working, and I would like freak myself out, and I'd just be like sitting there like that, like during the rape scene and everything. And I used to watch The Dead Next Door when I was like 4 or 5. The thing that kind of got me into horror movies was, 1, Halloween, the movie, and 2, my dad would have all these VHSs, but he wouldn't have like a lot of them store bought. He would have them taped off of other tapes. Like he would record it onto a tape off of another tape, or like off of HBO or something, and he would put it on the shittiest speed so that he could fit like 4 to 6 movies on one VHS, and the sound would be terrible, the picture would be terrible. Like if I was to like be standing here, like all of the tanness would all be bleeding out, and the sound would be like this, and it would just be like staticky. Just the whole feel and the whole sort of mood that I got in by like watching horror movies, nothing else ever compared to it, and it just excited me. And Halloween I saw when I was 5. Michael Myers from then on would become my childhood hero, even to this day. I know that's kind of weird to say because he's a psychotic killer, but because he's the one that really started my absolute passion for horror movies. So yeah, I would say my dad, me sneaking into his room, watching all of his horror movies when he wasn't home, even though it didn't really matter because he would let me watch horror movies anyway. But shit like I Spit on Your Grave, he wouldn't want me to watch because of the rape scene and everything. Hold on, can't see that, because of the rape scene and all that. But yeah, cool ass dad. That's how I got into it. So next question, what do you like about horror? Atmosphere, the feeling that I get. Horror movies always remind me of my favorite season, which is fall, my favorite holiday, which is Halloween. It always brings me back to my childhood, you know, like movie nights, like with my dad and my brother, just sitting there just watching horror movies. I love the whole concept behind horror, that it's okay to like cinematic violence. It's okay to go on a journey for an hour and a half into, you know, the events that take place from a killer, you know what I mean? And not even just that, but like zombie movies and everything. Like Dawn of the Dead is one of my favorite movies. It's just because it has such an atmosphere. That's what I love about horror movies, is the atmosphere about them and the passion that I feel about it. I just love them. What do you not like about horror movies? This one's actually easy for me. The thing that I don't like about horror movies is I don't have a lot of gripes with older horror movies, 70s, 80s, even 90s. What I see now in horror movies is, especially remakes, a lot of horror movies are putting rappers and trying to break them into film in parts that they're completely unqualified to perform in. Like, and it just ruins the whole movie. You know, I like rap music personally, I do. But when you try to put a rapper into a horror movie to try to sell tickets, and he just completely fucks up the whole part and really brings the movie down, that's really that's a shame. You know, that's one thing, that's a trend that I see in horror that I do not like. Your least favorite subgenre. My least favorite subgenre would have to be torture porn horror, like Saw, shit like that. I just don't like it. I just feel like that whole subgenre is just a cash in, and honestly, none of the Saws that I've ever seen have ever been any more graphic or have any more kind of shock value than the movies that came out in like the 70s. You know what I mean? I mean, you can put people into traps like this, and if they don't get the key and it'll open, yeah, that's cool, but it's just, how many of those kind of movies can you make before it gets like, okay, you know what I mean? So torture porn sort of subgenre of horror would have to be my least favorite. I do like some of it, but not a lot of it. Any changes to your favorite horror movie or a classic one? Let me see. This is a hard one. I didn't really think about this one, I'm sorry. Any changes to your favorite horror movie? Well, my favorite horror movie will have to be Halloween. The one thing that I would change about it is, I guess, the TV version that they released, so that it could be in the same sort of like time frame as the other movies, so that it could fit onto television. I kind of wish that was the original theatrical release, because it has images of Michael in the asylum, like when he's sitting there and he like turns around when Laurie comes into the room. Like that's really, really cool. I would say when Dr. Loomis is having the hearing, that's cool. So I kind of wish that was just the the actual theatrical release. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Is there a remake you would like to see? Yes. And that is Slaughterhouse. Came out in 1987. Not a lot of people know about this movie. Definitely not a classic. It is a really bad horror movie, a really cheesy horror movie, but it has a lot of potential. It's about this father and his son who own a slaughterhouse. I want to say the government or the town or something is trying to buy them out so that they can tear the slaughterhouse down, but they've owned it and they've grown up there since, you know what I'm saying, since whenever. So they kind of have like a falling out with them, and they're like yelling back and forth like, oh no, we're not selling it, this and that. So that same night, a group of kids go there to a party, and they're already all pissed about this. So they decide that his son, Buddy, is going to go on a rampage and kill all the kids that are there. Which I think that is a really good premise. That just wasn't. it didn't get the proper treatment back when it first came out. I think that they should remake it. You know what I mean? And just give it the proper attention that a story like that deserves. You know what I mean? Just something to say, hey, look, this horror movie from the 80s exists too. So just remake it, make it really good. I still love that movie. It's not a good movie, but it's like a guilty pleasure of mine. I would just love to see it get the right treatment. So that's it. Those are all 6 questions from Killernerd75. Great contest. Keep getting more subscribers. Hope you like this video, and thank you.